You used to think scrambling was part of your game, a sign you were sharp, dangerous, hard to hold down, but now your timing feels late, your reactions feel slower, and you start wondering if you're just getting worse at jiu-jitsu. The truth is, this might actually be the best thing that could happen to your game. In this video, I'm going to show you why scrambling starts to feel so much more expensive as you get older, and I'm going to give you 3 very simple concepts that can make your jiu-jitsu calmer, cleaner, and a hell of a lot less chaotic. I'm Adrian, jiu-jitsu black belt coach and former competitor, and this is Invincible Jiu-Jitsu, where we talk about rolling stronger for longer at 40 and beyond. Now, I want to caveat everything I'm saying in this video with this. Scrambling is not a bad thing. There are absolutely times when you need to scramble. Even Roger Gracie, the master of methodically breaking people down, will scramble when he really needs to. So this is not me saying that scrambling has no place in jiu-jitsu. Of course it does. And to be honest, scrambling is fun. I love a bit of a wild scramble as much as anyone. But as older grapplers, we have to weigh the risk-reward ratio a little more carefully, because when you're dealing with younger, faster, more athletic people, the cost of chaotic exchanges can be much higher. So the goal is not to eliminate scrambling altogether. The goal is to stack the odds in our favor so we can keep doing this for decades to come. Now, when we're younger, we can get away with a lot. We can be slightly late, slightly out of position, slightly too loose with our posture, slightly too dependent on speed and reaction, and still win the exchange. Youth, explosiveness, elasticity, they let us cover the cracks. That's why a lot of us think we're better at scrambling back then. But what was really happening is that athleticism was hiding inefficiency. As we get older, that margin for error starts shrinking, and nowhere exposes that faster than a scramble. A scramble, by definition, is often just inefficiency made visible. Bad positioning, late reactions, wasted movement, poor posture, a lack of control. It all gets dragged into the light the second things get chaotic. And that's an important reframe. If you're losing scrambles you used to win, it doesn't automatically mean your jiu-jitsu is getting worse. It may just mean the game is no longer letting you hide behind the same athletic shortcuts. The second problem is tension. A lot of older grapplers are carrying far more tension than they realize. What we often call old man strength is not always strength in the useful sense. A lot of the time it's just rigidity, an overloaded nervous system. It's tissues that have lost some of their adaptability. And the trouble is, that tension slows you down in exactly the moments where you need fluidity the most. When the body is too braced, too stiff, too internally noisy, you don't react cleanly. You do not change direction smoothly. You don't flow from one movement to the next. You get stuck, and then you get late. The same tension also makes you easier to injure. And again, nowhere is that more obvious than in a mad scramble with some 20-year-old Wolverine who's flinging himself all over the place while you're tense as a steel girder. That's where shoulders get yanked, knees get twisted, necks get tweaked, and backs get lit up. And then there's the bigger lifestyle piece. Most of us are living in ways that shape the body in the exact opposite direction to what jiu-jitsu requires. We sit, we drive, we hunch over desks, we spend hours folded in positions that make us stiffer, shorter, and less responsive. You can't live like a desk jockey all week and expect to move like a panther the second sparring starts. It just doesn't work like that. The body adapts to what we do most, not what we do occasionally. And a few sessions a week on the mat do not magically undo 50 or 60 hours of sitting, driving, and moving like an office worker. So when the scramble comes, what shows up is not just your jiu-jitsu. What shows up is the body you've built through the rest of your life. The range, your stiffness, your tension, your ability to rotate, drop levels, redirect force, and recover shape under pressure. All of that comes with you. If this resonates, I've put together the Roll Forever cheat sheet. It's a free checklist with 7 simple things you can do to improve your jiu-jitsu immediately without adding any extra training. Warm-up primers, between round resets, down regulation drills, simple recovery upgrades, it's all in there. So if you want cleaner movement, better recovery, and a game that feels less expensive on your body, the link is in the description below. Check it out. Now, here's the deeper shift. Scrambles are often won before they even start. By the time the actual mad exchange happens, posture, balance, control, and organization have all already usually broken down. The scramble is just the visible result. And that matters because jiu-jitsu is about control. It's not about never moving. It's not about being passive or refusing to react when something goes sideways. It's about control, the ability to organize the exchange so that chaos becomes less of an inevitability. So if scrambling was a huge pillar of your game when you were younger, what that may really mean is that you were surviving disorder better than the other guy. You were winning messy exchanges through athleticism, reactions, and willingness to go there. And fair enough, that does work until it doesn't. But most jiu-jitsu north of 40 has to be different. Better jiu-jitsu means less chaos. It means becoming the grappler who needs fewer frantic exchanges in the first place. It means controlling movement earlier, controlling space earlier, feeling the shift sooner, killing the scramble before it even starts, before it even fully becomes one. And one of the best ways to do that is something we all still have, no matter how old we get: body weight. Used properly, your body weight can slow people down, flatten them out, make them carry you, and take the bounce out of the exchange before speed ever becomes the deciding factor. Rickson Gracie talks a lot about connection. He defines connection as imposing your weight on another person's movement. And that doesn't just mean lying on top of somebody like a wet blanket while they suffer underneath you. It applies everywhere. It applies when someone is inside your guard. It applies when you're underneath somebody else's side control. It applies when you're escaping an armbar. It applies when you're the one attacking with an armbar. So the question becomes, in this moment, how do I make this person carry my weight? How do I make their movement suffer under my weight? How do I make every attempt to move me, escape me, or attack me feel heavier, uglier, and more expensive than it should? The second concept is soaking up space. Henry Akins talks a lot about this, and it's a brilliant lens for older grapplers in particular. What it really means is crowding your opponent wherever possible, closing the gaps, denying them the little pockets of freedom they need in order to escape or to scramble, to recover guard, to build momentum, or launch attacks. Again, this applies almost everywhere. From top position, from bottom position, from transitions, from pins, from guards, from escapes. You are constantly looking to reduce the space between your body and theirs, because space is where movement lives. And the more movement you allow them, the more chance the exchange turns into chaos and you lose control. And then there's relaxation. Relaxation not only makes you more effective when it comes to applying body weight and staying connected, it changes the whole feel of your jiu-jitsu. Think about the difference between trying to carry an ironing board and trying to carry a soaking wet blanket. The ironing board is rigid, it's awkward, but it's easy enough to move. The soaking wet blanket, it's a nightmare. It drapes, it clings, it drags, it becomes a burden. That is what relaxed weight feels like. Relaxation also lets you conserve energy while the other person burns their energy out underneath you. But more important even than that, relaxation helps you tune into what the other person is doing without needing to see every little thing. You start to feel them. You feel the shift in their weight. You feel their intention. You feel the direction they're about to go before they even start going there. And when you get good at that, it almost feels like a kind of telepathy, not because you become mystical, but because you stopped drowning out the signal, their signal, with your own tension. You're so tuned into what they're doing that it feels like you know what they're about to do before they do it. And for us older grapplers, this is gold because it lets you stay several steps ahead without having to be the fastest man in the room. You're not trying to win a race after the scramble starts. You're reading the room earlier. You're shutting the doors sooner. You're making the whole exchange less athletic and more intelligent. And that's really the shift. We stop trying to win every exchange by being the wildest man in the room. And we start learning how to be the most organized, more connected, more aware, more efficient, less expensive to ourselves. So the big idea here is simple. If you're losing scrambles you used to win, that doesn't automatically mean your jiu-jitsu is getting worse. More often, it means that age is exposing the inefficiency, the tension, the lack of control that athleticism used to hide. And that's actually really good news, because now you've got a clearer direction. Less chaos, less wasted movement, more control, more connection, more pressure, more relaxation. And all of this adds up to better jiu-jitsu. Jiu-jitsu that holds up better. Jiu-jitsu that asks less of your body while giving you more back. Guys, if this made sense, watch this video next, where I break down why jiu-jitsu is leaving you exhausted after heavy training sessions, and how a few simple shifts can help you bounce back faster, feel better, and keep training hard without paying for it for days. I'll see you there.